board meeting tonight on July the 28th. If everyone could please stand for a moment of silence, and then we will say the Pledge of Allegiance. The pledge. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Okay. So our first agenda item is to review the agenda and adopt the agenda. We could please review that, and if anyone has any type of changes or any questions about it, this is a regular meeting, so we can do that. I don't necessarily want to pull this out of consent agenda items, but I wanted to point out that Mr. Justin Kaysen did an annual data security and privacy report that was very thorough. It's in our consent agenda items. It's just very important to know how much the school system ensures the safety and the security of, we've got student information, parent information, employee information, so there's a lot in that report. So I just wanted to say that. Okay. Do I have any changes, additions? Okay. Do I have a motion to approve the agenda?
I'll make a motion.
Okay, motion by Mr. Kaiser. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Ms. Thomas. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any other discussion? Motion passes 4-0. Our next agenda item is consider approval of minutes for the special call meeting on June the 30th, 2026. Do I have a motion or any other discussion?
No, I'll make that motion to approve those minutes.
Motion by Ms. Thomas.
I'll second.
Second by Mr. Dorsey. Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes 4-0. I will now hand over the meeting to Mrs. Shanda Crosby for our public school recognitions.
Good evening. So we start every Board of Education meeting in the best way, and that's to recognize students, staff, and community members who exemplify the qualities of our Portrait of Clark County learner. And we're going to start tonight with, this is my favorite part of the meeting. We're all out there living it, and we want you all to know it. So I'm going to start out with Athletic Director Terry Yeast, but this recognition is a little bit different. In April, we recognized over 1,000 students who had achieved exemplary things in groups or sports and all the things. And we had some that achieved those after April 21st. So we're sort of recognizing that as we go. And so we're going to start out with the track recognition with Mr. East.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Yeah, so a lot of our spring sports probably got recognized in June. I was gallivanting around Oregon about that time at a track meet, and so I did not get to come, and I just wanted to make sure that I got to share some of the success. So we had 3 student athletes that qualified for state in track and field, and if you're in Class A or you're in Class AA, your chance, and if you're in an average region, sometimes you may get 15 or 20 kids to qualify, but it seems like every elite athlete in track and field is in my region because we compete with Woodford County, Fayette County, and so these 3 individuals didn't just qualify, they won 4 regional championships to get to state, and they also had some regional runners-up. So we had a lot of success at region, and so at the state track meet, we had 3 individuals, as I said, qualified. And I'll go ahead and start with the first one because she is not here. That's T. Yeast. She is kind of busy in Pittsburgh. She had to go to college on June the 20th, and so she's not here. But T finished state runner-up in the triple jump, and she also finished third in the state in the long jump. So we're very proud of her success this year in track. Next we have Mr. Haddon Cecil, come on up. This gentleman doesn't do track, and I have to tell this story, Mr. Howard. Please don't kill me on this. So Haddon is a football player, Haddon is a basketball player, and Haddon is a baseball player. Haddon has a friend on the track team who was training one night and convinced him just to try high jump. So Bailey sends me a text and says, Coach, Haddon just cleared 5'10" in high jump, and I went, just showing up over there? She said, yeah. So then about 4 or 5 days later, she sends me another text and says, guess what? Haddon just cleared 6 feet in the high jump. I said, with no practice? I said, get him over here. So I take Haddon, I said, when do you not have a baseball game? So we find a few track meets where there's not a baseball game. So he goes first track meet, and we're over at Grind Station, and he clears 6'2" the first time he ever does the event. We go over to Henry Clay on another night. Coach, I don't have a baseball game. Let's go to the track meet tonight. He clears 6'4", and at this point he's ranked 3rd in the state. We haven't even practiced. So we get to the state track meet, and I mean, there are probably 6 kids that had cleared at some point during the season, at least 6'4" or higher. So we knew that he was going to be in a battle, and he ended up 4th. I think it was 3 athletes that all cleared the same height as him, but because he had less misses, he ended up being 4th in the event, and the other 2 were 5th and 6th. So it was so awesome that a gentleman who probably went to 1 track practice finished 4th in state in the high jump. So we're very proud of having him. And the last one is Mr. Howard's sweet angel, Bailey Howard. Come on up, Bailey. Bailey has had an amazing career at GRC, and this year she was state champion at the indoor state track meet back in I think it was early March. And then she came back in the end of May, and she won another state championship. So Bailey has won, is that 3 or 4? 4 state championships the last 2 years at GRC in the pole vault. Yep. And now she'll be heading off to college to compete also. So we are super, super proud and super sad that we're going to be losing her. But congratulations to Bailey. Two sweet angels here.
And didn't Bailey do that like the day after she graduated? Wasn't that one of them?
Yeah, so Bailey, she graduated Friday night, didn't go to the project graduation, and woke up and won a state championship the next day. Cleared 11 feet 6 inches.
So in addition to honoring our student athletes and sports, our students and athletes in academic sports and groups and extracurriculars, we also do regular recognitions at each board meeting. So we're going to enter into that now. These are done by nomination. I want to introduce Assistant Superintendent Kelly Fuda.
Thank you. Tonight, we are proud to recognize CenterPoint Health and CEO Matt Smith for their outstanding partnership as engaged citizens committed to helping us grow greatness in our community. CenterPoint Health invests in our students in meaningful ways, including covering admission for all CCPS students to attend regular season home athletic events. This generous support gives every student the opportunity to experience the excitement of school sports while building school spirit, relationships, and connection. CenterPoint also supports our students' well-rounded educational experience by helping prepare them for future careers and celebrating their talents through the annual Art Walk art show. The event showcases student artwork, promotes heart health awareness, and provides scholarship opportunities. The hospital also proudly displays the Martin Luther King Jr. quilt, a collage of student artwork symbolizing the values of unity and equality that Dr. King championed. We are grateful to CEO Matt Smith and the entire CenterPoint Health team for being such a valued and dedicated partner as we work together to grow greatness in our students, staff, and community.
Wait a minute. Say that up for just now, all right. I do love you guys, all right? Not the same way, though.
Yeah. And I'm just having fun. But I brought actually Chris Webb. He's one of those folks, much like we just displayed, man, greatness, and he's responsible for all things students, all things students. We have roughly 175 students, from med students to residents, a few of those, but mostly your students. And it is awesome, and I brought him. It's really not about me. He's the guy that does the work. And sometimes they're hard to keep up with the students. And he does it with grace and poise, and just want to make sure I recognize him as well tonight, Chris Webb.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Who doesn't love L81? Winchester is proud to be home to this iconic Kentucky original, and even prouder to recognize L81 for being such a valued, engaged citizen and CCPS partner. As one of our largest and most valued sponsors, L81 generously provides products for our school and athletic events, a wonderful example of hometown company investing in the students and the community that call Winchester home. We are grateful for the special relationship we share with L81 and for the many ways that they continue to support our schools. Thank you to Sheila Fry for working so closely with us and the L81 team for their phenomenal support in our mission to grow greatness in our students, staff, and community.
Congratulations.
All right, I am very, very excited to introduce this next person. My name is Chris Olson. I'm our Fine Arts Chair at George Rogers Clark High School. Not only am I excited, it was an honor of mine to get to write this nomination. A little background, about a year ago, the Kentucky Center for the Performing Arts started something called the Bradley Awards, which is like the high school music theater awards. They had everything from choreography awards to acting to scenic design, tech, direction, and everything in between. We had a number of students who were nominated for roles. Addison Taylor for Best Supporting Actress, Jillian McClellan for scenic design, our tech crew for outstanding technical execution. But there's one student who won perhaps the most prestigious individual award across the entire state of Kentucky, and I'm excited to get to talk about her. McKinley Harper won the Kentucky Performing Arts Bradley Award for Best Actress in a Leading Role for her portrayal of Penelope Pennywise in GRC's production of Urinetown. The process is an exhaustive one, starting with being adjudicated at the musical performances themselves
and culminating in a live audition the weekend of the Bradley Awards. After you win this, McKinley got to spend 10 days in New York learning from Broadway professionals among just 100, I think it was 120 people across the entire United States, and that's just 60 girls from across the entire United States. And if you know anything about the performing arts, it's especially cutthroat if you are a soprano, so that's pretty impressive. Exemplifying the qualities of a resilient learner, McKinley extensively studied her character in the show, thoroughly prepared her material, including quite demanding vocal repertoire, and showed artistic choices from character voices to body language that rose above that of the typical high school performer. Above all, she exuded goodwill, humility, coachability, and humor, traits that will carry her far in the performing arts world. And just a personal note, in addition to her tremendous talent, the two things that I think we can be most proud of McKinley and why she's going to do a great job in this performing arts field is, one, she has tremendous work ethic. She operates as if nothing is owed to her, and then along those same lines, there's not a diva bone in her body. She is a good model of what a good performer should be. So please give a warm round of applause for McKinley Harper.
I think you should do a number.
Welcome back, by the way.
Absolutely. First report. I know better not to, okay, yes, ma'am.
You're more important though. All right, here we go. Great, thank you.
Thanks, Chris.
Ms. Ellis?
So tonight, I would like to recognize American Fidelity as a valued corporate sponsor, a trusted cafeteria plan partner, and a committed collaborator that works closely with an organization throughout the year. Their ongoing support and engagement play an important role in helping us provide meaningful resources and benefits to our employees. And as a dedicated partner, American Fidelity is actively participating with our HR orientation process. They help our employees navigate important benefit options and ensuring that they have the information needed to make informed decisions. And this year, American Fidelity further demonstrated its commitment to our organization by providing a monetary donation to support the purchase of new employee t-shirts. And in their generosity, this helped us create a welcoming experience for our incoming staff while fostering a sense of belonging and organizational pride from day one. We are grateful for American Fidelity's continued partnership and their investment in the success and well-being of our employees. So I'd also like to express my sincere appreciation to my finance team for their exceptional dedication, adaptability, and professionalism that they demonstrate every day. As resilient learners, they continually embrace new challenges, regulations, and processes with growth mindset and commitment to excellence. As committed collaborators, they ensure accuracy, consistency, and accountability in every aspect of their work, helping maintain the financial integrity of our organization. Their strength as effective communicators fosters collaboration across departments, builds trust with our stakeholders, and ensures that complex financial information is shared clearly and thoughtfully. Their collective efforts, expertise, and unwavering commitment play a vital role in our organization's success, and I am grateful for their positive impact that they make every day. So we've got Ms. Kim Anderson. All of her bills paid and the lights on. She's our accounts payable clerk. We've got Ms. Amanda Council. bookkeeping, she does a little bit of everything for us. Miss Adrienne McClellan, she deposits all of our bills in Red Book. And Miss Anna Hall is not directly in finance, she is the food service finance person, but she does payroll, accounts payable, and all of that stuff, so she is part of my team 100%. Miss Lori Todd was not able to make it, but she's also finance for transportation, again, 100% part of my team, even though she is not in the office with me every single day. Ms. Katie Midden also is maintenance finance. She's an operations. She could not be here tonight either, but same thing. She may not sit in my office directly, but she does all the stuff for operations. So she is also part of my team. And then we have Ms. Whitney Hood, who is the program lead for finance and payroll guru of things. She's my right hand, my left hand. She keeps me sane. Couldn't do it without her. So.
You don't want her to make?
Okay, here we go. Here we go. Thank you. Ms. Bush. Director of Community Schools. All things Cardinal Community Center.
Good evening. Tonight, I am here to honor Mr. Tom Collins. He is our in-school in Hannah McClure Center beekeeper. If you don't know, we have 60,000 bees, all my little grandchildren, and 2 queens. Mr. Tom Collins, his incredible dedication and passion for keeping bees. Tom recently drove to Moorhead, Kentucky to pick up 60,000 new bees for our center. Thanks to his hard work, he built and set up the new hives funded by the Whole Food Grant. Moving forward, Tom will be serving as our lead instructor, educating the public on the crucial roles bees and pollination play in our environment. Plus, he'll be caring for hives and helping us extract delicious honey locally that we give away because of our grant. That was one of the credentials that they said we had to do, little bars of free honey. So if you would please help me thank Mr. Tom Collins for sharing his knowledge and keeping our community buzzing.
You and I. Oh, we were shaking hands.
Now, I know the book bus has been around since I think 2014. This was a tiny idea that we had in our head, and this lady, she's a young lady, she has driven every single mile, and she'll fight another bus driver to drive it. Taking this program as her own and loving it as deeply as I do. 3 days a week each summer, she navigates city streets and county roads to put brand new books directly into the hands of our children during the summer. Back when I used to ride along with her, I saw firsthand, we would go through a road and there would be a bunch of kids in pools or in their backyard playing, and they would hear her, buddy, she could blow that horn and have them at attention and come in to get a free book and lickety split time. From the bottom of my heart, I thank you because this could not have worked without your personality and your wonderfulness. Is that a word? Wonderfulness?
Absolutely.
I know this program has been a long time, but it is successful and it is only because of you.
My favorite ride.
Oh, yeah. I'm all 4 hours of her bus route, right here. Me and her.
Regular bus route.
Ms. Allison Elster, thank you so much.
1 second, she wants to
Oh,
she wants one in a row.
Good evening. Lieutenant Colonel Tom Krupp and Master Sergeant Larry Lee exemplify greatness not only with their JROTC instruction, but also empowering leadership. Both are exceptional servant leaders who consistently lead by example, demonstrating integrity, professionalism, and an unwavering commitment to student success. Their ability to build meaningful relationships with the cadets fosters a culture of trust, respect, accountability, and excellence. Through their efforts, they inspire the cadets of today to be leaders for tomorrow. With their mentorship and instruction, they develop confident, disciplined, responsible young leaders while maintaining high expectations and providing the support necessary for students to succeed. Their dedication to character development, citizenship, community service has had a lasting impact. There we go. On countless cadets. Lieutenant Colonel Krupp and Master Sergeant Lee's passion for developing the whole student, combined with their exceptional leadership and continuous commitment for improvement, make them outstanding ambassadors for GRC and CCPS. Whether it's the parking lot detail of a Friday night football game, the 9/11 ceremony, the Veterans Day program, competing for another Raider National Championship, or placing flags on the graves of veterans, their efforts definitely do not go unnoticed. Most recently, they both received the distinction of Kentucky JROTC Instructor of the Year, as well as the 7th Brigade Senior Army Instructor of the Year. So guys, thank you all for your service and your commitment to GRC.
I'm very excited that I actually get to do one. I get to do one very often. We are proud tonight to recognize 3 exceptional students who spent their senior year serving as communications ambassadors for the district. Through this unique opportunity, these students stepped beyond their traditional high school experience and into a professional communications role, using their talents to help tell the CCPS story of greatness. They traveled to schools across the district, met with students and staff, and produced communications pieces that highlighted the people, programs, and opportunities that make our district special. They were empowered leaders and committed collaborators as they set aside their comfort zones, took initiative, adapted to challenges, and worked with others to bring stories to life. This trio also represented CCPS through their work on a poster for the Kentucky School Boards Association conference. Their Built to Last graphic showcased the competencies of the portrait of a Clark County learner while highlighting the skills and characteristics that prepare our students for success beyond high school. Please join us in recognizing these outstanding students as empowered leaders and committed collaborators who exemplify the qualities we want to see in every graduate in our district. They are Bailey Howard, Gray, Aaron Southwood. And I was going to get mad at Christy for not being in the picture, but I'm not going to be in the picture, so I can't say anything to you.
Yes.
Okay, here we go. Okay.
I can take it for you.
No, it's okay. I'm good.
Ms. Crosby, is that all of them?
That's it.
Okay, all right. Can you check and see if there are any public comments? Mr. Watkins? it was taking me a minute. All right, so I'm just going to read this just because we do have people who do want to speak. And the next item on the agenda is public comment. Any issues discussed during public comment should permit to board business. The board encourages public participation and engagement. This time, however, is not intended to be a time of debate or direct engagement with the board. Furthermore, members of the public are encouraged to model civil and respectful discourse and conduct. And the board policy is 15 minutes, but I think that would give each of you, there's 2 speakers, so that would give you 7-ish minutes each. And I'll just go in order that signed up, and I'll ask Mr. Neil Salvatierra with LifeWise Academy.
Thank you very much.
Mm-hmm.
Very impressive diversity of certificates of greatness. I gotta figure out how to get one of those. Very impressive. Yeah, well, Mark, good to be here. Thank you for the time. I'm here simply to introduce a program that's available to school districts in Kentucky. We've had a kind of a steering committee that's been discussing this. We met with Superintendent Howard one time, introduced it to him, and he said it'd be all right if I came during the public comment time. And 5 minutes. My name's Neil Salvatierra. I'm the pastor of the Mount Zion Community Church. The other members of our LifeWise Steering Committee are Mackie Gaston, who's the pastor of Emmanuel Baptist Church, Sharon Harrison, sitting back here, and Sherry Marcasano. And just thank you for the opportunity to provide some information about release time religious instruction. Let me explain the legality of the program, its practical benefits for the students who choose to participate. The legality of release time religious education has been upheld by the Supreme Court for more than 60 years in Zorak versus Clausen, which makes release time religious instruction programs completely legal in all 50 states. Since the state of Kentucky requires board approval, I'm here to share information, answer any questions, and seek approval to move forward to offer this option to parents who choose to enroll their children. There is a strong commitment to adhere to all federal, state, and local laws throughout the entire process. LifeWise does meet off-school property. It's privately funded, and parents must sign permission slips for their children to attend. It's a free program for all students, and no tax dollars are spent on the program. The focus is on the central messages of the Bible and the foundational themes that will give great benefit to the character development of the students who participate. Our goal is to produce real and lasting change in the lives of the students, and to the degree that the schools and the communities are positively impacted. So we continually look for ways to make instruction not only conceptual, but also actionable using the Bible and character education. Research indicates that about 8 out of 10 American youth do not attend church, while 9 out of 10 American youth do attend public schools. What does that imply? Well, reaching youth with a message of hope in today's culture presents significant challenges. Release Time is a legal program by which religious instruction is accessible to public school students during the school day, allowing them to leave school with parental permission to attend off-site classes, which are both academic and religious in nature. Independent research has shown that students who participate in the Release Time program tend to perform better academically and experience fewer behavioral issues. The school system benefits from improved academic performance, better mental health, and enhanced classroom behavior. Additionally, a Release Time religious instruction program can attract families who may otherwise choose to leave public education due to a lack of a religious component. The community benefits from the long-term investment in developing a generation of citizens with strong morals and character. Our steering committee has been engaged in the process to determine from our perspective how a LifeWise program might be implemented in our educational community. I'd like to briefly share our thoughts with you to hopefully get your feedback as representatives of the school community. The logistical plan is a work in progress. The first school that we've targeted would probably possibly be William Conkright Elementary, and that's because there is a host site for the children to go to for the religious education at the Oasis Foursquare Church, which is within walking distance of Conkright Elementary. Target launch date would probably be spring term 2027. Mode of transportation is walking, with the supervision of LifeWise volunteers. There are currently 5 Kentucky districts with live programs, including Marshall County. They're in their 3rd year. They have over 500 students attending this release time religious instruction. Cumberland County has, last count, about 75 students. Metcalfe County is expanding probably in this fall. And other Kentucky school districts that have granted approval and will be launching during the 2026-2027 school year are Powell County, Lincoln County, Caldwell County, Trigg County, and Perry County. LifeWise Academy comes alongside administrators and teachers in their efforts to serve students, schools, and communities. Its intention is not to replace the good work that is already being done in the schools regarding character development. Educators have acknowledged the positive impact of LifeWise on their students, and parents consistently recommend LifeWise to other families. 95% of educators agree that their school and students benefit by improved attendance, improved academics, a decrease of in-school and out-of-school suspensions, and there are other survey results that you can find on the LifeWise website. I'm going to give you a folder with some information so you can access it. And if you want to research it a little more, access it yourself. Approval of our moral instruction request. In order to provide all the information required by the Kentucky Revised Statute 158.200, our team is requesting a conditional approval so that we can begin hiring a director and staff members. On hiring all individuals for the program, and then after they have secured the required background checks, the program director here in the school district will be provided with all the updated information so that we can get abreast of all this going on. But we are requesting a point of contact within the district so that our team can coordinate schedules, provide required information, and we're requesting acknowledgement and approval of the logistical plan shared with you to enable us to go ahead and hire a program director. And one more personal observation. I remember the first time I walked into this building and noticed, I gazed over my left shoulder, and I noticed a motto that's plastered above the entrance to a meeting room of some sort. Can anybody tell me what it says? Who? In God we trust, yeah. And I also noticed the Gideon Bible on the end table that's out there in the lobby. This opportunity that I've shared with you, and that we previously shared with Superintendent Howard, is the perfect opportunity to show this community those words are not just a decoration on the wall. So thank you all very much for your time and your attention, allowing me to speak to you today. It's been a privilege and an honor.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes.
If you want to hand them your folder.
Yeah. I don't know that I have enough for everyone, but you will probably share some.
My name was under first, because there's no.
Thank you again.
I'll ask Mrs. Meredith Guy to come forward. Welcome, Mrs. Guy.
Thank you. Thank you all for allowing me to speak tonight. I just have a quick first of all, I don't want to be here. I hope that I don't have to be here anymore to speak on this matter, because I really don't want to bring it up, but I will go ahead and read the statement I prepared. Good evening. I'm aware that two members of this board have been charged with misappropriation of funds. I did not come here tonight to judge either of you as individuals. Our justice system exists for a reason, and you deserve your day in court. However, I did come here tonight to respectfully ask that you resign. Our community is incredibly proud of our school system and all that has been accomplished in Clark County. We want our Board of Education focused entirely on our students, our teachers, and the future of our schools. With the ongoing distractions surrounding your indictments, the board's ability to fully concentrate on that important work has been compromised. For the sake of your own children, for the students and families of Clark County, and for the good of this community, I ask that you put the interests of our schools first. Please resign from the Board of Education and withdraw your candidacy for another term. This is not about prejudice or punishment. It is about leadership, public trust, and ensuring that our school system can move forward without unnecessary distraction. Our students, our educators, and our community deserve leaders who can devote their full attention to the important work before them. I respectfully ask that you do what is best for Clark County and step aside. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Scott. Okay. We'll move on to our next agenda item, which is student learning and instructional services, and I'll ask, the agenda item is acknowledgement of the MOA between KCCCS BCTC and the Clark County Schools for implementation of dual credit coursework. It's Dr. Gregory Feeney. Dr. Feeney should come forward. I had it right, but I just knew I was going to say it wrong anyway. So,
if I had a dime for every name I've messed up, I'd be providing free college for students. So a couple things to share. One is I enjoy coming to these meetings specifically for the celebration part. I mean, I love to highlight our partnership, which I'm going to do in a minute. But what I was sitting back there thinking, I'm not surprised that the partnership with this school is so strong, looking at the talent you have and who you recognize today and what's your students as well as your staff and your instructors are achieving. So it's very impressive. And the community, one of the community members that you recognize today, Chris Webb, that was highlighted, he's a former student of BCTC. So one of the advantages of, I'm entering my 29th year with this institution. And one of the advantages of that is you start to see your students like, who are in their later stages as well, which is very impressive. But I want to say thank you, as I always do, to Superintendent Howard and his team for just the phenomenal partnership that we have here. This has been literally in about every category that you can mention a record-breaking year for BCTC. We've had our highest enrollment in our college's history, highest success rates in our college's history. For the first time in our college's history, we were named the top 20% of community colleges in the nation in relation to graduation rates. What's really fun about that data that is college-wide, it's exemplified right here in Winchester as well. Every one of those variables. So we have record enrollment, record success rates. We've increased on all of those. Specifically, if I look at just with our Bluegrass College Academy, which is students who earn their associate degree a little bit before they're graduating high school, saving a lot of money going into college as a junior, saving as much as $30,000, depending on what school that they're going to. That has increased in this community by 23%. So we serve 13 counties. Clark is one of two that has just consistently been incredible to work with. And what's clear is your focus on students and their success and supporting their future. So it is our privilege to continue to say yes and support that. And that's what this MOA represents, is our continued partnership. What I also love about Superintendent Howard and his team is they are not afraid to give feedback and ask for things. And that is what makes for a strong partnership and helps us make sure that we are all collectively in partnership doing the best that we can do to support students. So I'm happy to be here. If we look at what we've done in the past, Specifically, since we've opened 1919, we've been able to say yes to each and every student that is interested in this. That's why that enrollment has been expanded. That's why our college numbers are up so much college-wide. And as I tell my own team, who is here today sitting there, very grateful for their contributions and their leadership. I feel like we're just getting started. And so there's many great things ahead. So we are here to answer any questions that you might have, but also just to say thank you for that continued success.
I know you all you bought the old Amazon building. Are you all doing anything with that, or is that still in like ideas phase?
Yeah, so what that allowed us to do immediately, so when we bought that following January is, we started our nursing program there. We moved it over to that facility. That's what allowed us to say yes to any student that wanted dual credit, as well as to expand our general education offerings, is because now we had space to do it with the concentrated space for nursing. So we just, shortly after, within probably 6 months of, typically how this works is, you do all this work before and then you build a building, right? This fell in our lap. We saved literally probably between 30 and 40 million by what we got that building for, and then, but we had to do the work after. So we worked with local community as well as surrounding counties, did a needs assessment, and so we have our second rendering back from our architects. So we will be expanding additional offerings within that facility, which will also allow us to offer more, for example, paramedic, have a concentrated program there, expand our enrollment in that program. Most likely that will be across the street at 2020. And so it's allowed us to use both those facilities for that. And then what we will have in that facility is continued community space. I've seen many of your faces there, so you know that that's been a vital part of what we've been able to offer the community. And then the second part of that is a dedicated workforce training center. So we will be the first community college in the state of Kentucky to offer that dedicated workforce training center. And so that is very technical and industry focused, related to jobs that are right here in this community as well as surrounding counties.
That is awesome news.
We're very excited about it. You know, nothing moves as quickly as you'd like it to, but I'm also very happy with, you know, if I look at this past year, I'm not happy about this part. I want to qualify that. 13% of our budget came from state funding. 13%. 37% came from our tuition, which we work to keep low. If you do that quick math, that leaves a 15% gap. That came from our incredible grant writing team, foundations that we work with, an incredible advancement team, so strong community support. We could not do what we do with the impact we make without those partnerships. Given that, we are well into our way, and we're signing a big agreement tomorrow that I won't be able to announce for a bit, but in getting funding for this building that we're not having to rely on state funding for. We are raising that money ourselves through our incredible partnerships with the industry partners that we're serving in the communities.
That's fantastic. Does anyone else have any questions or comments?
No, I think it's wonderful. I love it.
I wish I'd been here when I was in college. So, that's a few years ago. So.
Yeah, I feel the same.
Yeah. All right, well, thank you, Dr. Dean.
All right, well, thank you. Appreciate it.
Appreciate you and your team and our collaboration. Growing greatness together.
I love it. I love it. We're glad to be part of it.
Oh, you're in charge. Yes, ma'am.
And you?
The VCTC team.
And this business needs to be done.
And next year, I want to say this publicly so my team reminds me, I don't want to be outshone by his team. I'm going to wear something fancy next year.
I'm gonna get on. Put you two in the middle.
Okay, okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Wonderful, here we go. Beautiful, thank you all very much.
Our next agenda item is acknowledgement and consider approval of our CCPS MTSS handbook, and Ms. Allison Nelson.
handbook. The district team met late last school year, reviewed the content in the handbook, we discussed potential revisions. There's one simple revision, I believe it is an addition, slide 18. And that is the addition of, let's make sure that's the right one, yes. The addition of information around the retention law, which went out over the course of the past school year. There's a graphic here within the document that our instructional team developed around when retention may be appropriate and when it may not. So this is all information that staff and parents have access to and has already been shared with them, but we wanted to put it within the handbook so it lives in this system that defines what are some different ways that we address individualized needs for students. So this is the only change to the handbook. Other than that, it has remained the same. And we'll continue to review and revise and update as changes are necessary. So,
All right, anyone have any questions for Mrs. Nelson? Do you have a motion for approval of the handbook?
Or do we have to say no?
It says acknowledge and consider approval.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
Okay, so I have a motion of Mr. Kaiser and a second by Ms. Thomas. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes 4-0. Okay.
thank you.
Thank you. We'll see you in just a few minutes
Yes, yes,
again.
I'll be back.
All right. I'm now moving on to student support services. I'm going to ask Mr. Brandon Watkins and Mr. Brian Buckner to come forward. And the first thing we're going to do is consider approval of invoice 7421 to Solid Ground Consulting Engineers for geotechnical engineering at the Baker RDC renovation project in the amount of $12,500.
This is just for that engineering work there on that project. It's construction-related items, so we like to put it on the action agenda there for you guys. Do you have any, if you have any specific questions about it?
No.
All right, I make a motion to approve the invoice 7421.
I'll second.
Second by Mr. Kaiser. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any other discussion? Motion passes 4-0. Okay. Next agenda item, consider approval of the special inspection proposal for the athletic fieldwork at RDC football field renovation BG 26108.
Now, this is the item that we tabled or paused last time to be able to get some more information on it. So Brian, you feel good about that?
Yeah, so we solicited proposals for the expansion of the special inspections that's required by code for a lot of the work that's ongoing out here. Specifically, this is for the new work over at RDC. So we got one proposal back from Solid Ground, which is the same outfit that's doing the work over at the GRC practice field. So the previous kind of line item invoice there was for all their special inspections that they've done to date. So testing compaction, all of those things as they're starting to get kind of moving on work out there. So I think, you know, if you look down at that number, I think the total was $35,000 for the expanded scope of their work there to do the RDC portion. So this is going to, obviously, there's a lot more work happening over at RDC that's going to require special inspections between the retaining wall, the asphalt that's happening there, concrete work, curbs and gutters, compaction, testing of the synthetic turf system. All of those things are kind of bundled within this contract with Solid Ground. So I think that there's certainly a value add with them doing this, with them also doing the work concurrently over at the GRC practice field as well. So our recommendation would be to accept their proposal.
I don't have that proposal.
It's not on our.
It's not on our thing.
That was the attachment was a late ad there that Mr. Buckner is sharing because it didn't come in till late, so he sent it to Mr. Casey so we could have it.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah. What was the final number on that?
It's sold out to the bottom, should be $35,000. This is part of our RFP for it. It has the amount of work they have included in there. some time. This is not particularly time sensitive at this moment.
Yeah, I'd like-
If you want to table that, and we'll send that through to everybody, we can look at it, we can talk about it.
Yeah, I want to look at it, yeah.
Sounds
I'd
good.
like to look at it.
Okay,
So
I just don't want to blindly vote on something.
understand.
And you shouldn't have to.
Yeah.
we're going to table,
Make a motion to table that till the next meeting.
and make a motion to table this approval to the next meeting.
I'll second.
Okay, second by Mr. Kaiser. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any other discussion? Okay, motion passes 4-0. Okay. Our next agenda item, consider approval of the construction documents for the baseball, softball renovation at Robert D. Campbell, BG 26108.
So we have the other document that we have here is in progress construction documents for the RDC baseball and softball field, turf infield projects. So quite a few sheets here broken out from our site department that encompasses everything from the surveys. There's multiple sheets worth of surveys for both of the site locations. And then we've got several sheets worth of demolition plans for both of those. Again, this is just specific to the infield turf on both of those fields. And then the new work for the new turf and the new turf system and the sub-drainage system that's required. The only other kind of caveats that we have here, we talked a little bit about this last time, we are doing an alternate at both locations to do new site lighting for both. So that will be an add alternate at the time of bid that you all are able to take or leave it depending on where those costs come in. So with the dollar amount that's typically assigned to those being a larger dollar item, we find that that's a good recommendation to go ahead and use that as an add alternate and give you all a little bit of leverage on bid there. So the other part to this, there is some mechanical, electrical, and plumbing work that's occurring out there. It's very limited in scope. We're adding new electrical boxes behind home plate at both fields to be able to support a pitching machine at both. So that will be all kind of an in-ground system there that will not involve any electrical lines being run to the outfield that's existing to remain. So one of the things that we have talked about is trying to minimize any kind of work that's happening on the outfield portion so that nothing's getting dug up and having to get addressed out there before next season. So with that, down at Hannah McClure, there is a water line that runs under the field currently that we're going to abandon and install a new water line around that just to mitigate any future issues with that water line leaking and having to tear up a new turf field. Very similar to what happened over at RDC football where we got the drainage lines running through there. So that is going to kind of get routed around down towards the drive on the south end of that, all the way out of the outfield portion. The area of the pipe that's under the outfield is going to be capped and abandoned in place, so we're not tearing anything up down there at the baseball field.
So is that line feeding, like, the,
It runs to concessions.
Okay.
So it runs from Hannah McClure over to concessions. So we're just gonna reconnect it at the concessions building and reroute it.
it's
along
just
the
a
route side.
small service line?
That's correct, yes, just a water line. So we're trying to route that in a way that we're not having to cut up any pavement, or any sidewalk portions, just to, kind of avoid that additional type of work. So, that's kind of the game plan for that as well. Outside of that, we do have a sub-drainage system for the turf. We are daylighting that in both instances where it makes the most sense in terms of the grading on the site. So over at the baseball field, that's kind of coming off the back of the property a little bit. And then on the softball side, it's kind of playing east towards that storage building a little bit, where it kind of slopes off a little bit. So right now, the schedule for these is that we are wrapping up the construction documents. We're going through QA/QC review right now in our office. The mechanical, electrical, and plumbing engineers are wrapping up their last drawings. We'll be submitting those to Codel on Monday, so they're going to begin their front end specification sections. We're setting up the schedule of values in the form of a proposal for the bids. This will also be delivered in an accelerated bid format like we did for the football field. So we'll be directly reaching out to a few companies. It'll obviously go through LINs and the plan room and everything like we normally do for a bid. But we're going to try to shorten that up and have results back in within a few weeks. So we're looking and hoping that by next month we'll have some results to be able to share and talk through.
Did we look at anything, I know I mentioned about the drainage issues to Millwood. Did we look to make sure we weren't gonna affect that any?
the drainage system that's draining out the back for the under drain, everything met the calculations that our site department went through, our civil engineering team went through. So we didn't seem to feel like there was any kind of issue where that was gonna expand the drainage line running into that neighborhood in any significant amount. So we can share additional information on that if you all would like to see it as well, so. There is a swale that kind of runs out there as well, so where that daylights, I think that also helps in terms of just overall runoff drainage. It's kind of a net positive in terms of reducing hardscape, reducing sheet flow runoff off of those fields with that system. It'll absorb more rainwater and everything there on site.
Does anyone have any other questions for Mr. Button? To have a motion to approve the construction documents?
So moved.
Mr. Dorsey?
I'll second.
By Mr. Kaiser. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any other discussion? Motion passes 4-0. Thank you, Mr. Watkins. And Mr. Watkins. Our next agenda item is acknowledgement of construction update for RDC and Baker renovation projects. Mr. Music.
And Mr. Music is not here, so you get Mr. Codell live and in person.
Welcome, sir.
Thank you. I'll be super short and sweet. Things are going pretty well overall. Craig can give you some notes, make sure I touched on some things, but no major problems to report, so that's a good thing. We'll start at GRC. The header curve built around the perimeter of the turf is underway. Also a major portion of the storm work. Let's see. At Baker. Roof work has begun. Some of the demolition work of the roof accessories like the snow guards, those things will start to come off. Start to see some action out there in the next couple of weeks. Completion date of October. And then the big things that Campbell will touch on, the remaining HVAC work is delivering Friday this week, so everything will be up and running ahead of the open house on the 6th. Is that right? 6th? 7th. So everything should be back up and running ahead of the open house. Same with the wood doors; those will be up and installed prior to school beginning, hopefully before the open house as well. So I'll get there. Really, the only thing that's not in place right now is some light fixtures in the library. And those are actually scheduled to ship on the first day of school. There's existing lighting in there, but it's not a finished product that will be installed. Probably take two days.
That's a GRC. Oh, it is.
So probably take 2 evenings. They'll come in after school, let's say, I'll swap those light fixtures out in the library. But that's really the only thing that won't be. It's not going to affect the student experience, but that is one thing that won't be 100% done when school starts.
So can you go back to Baker then and explain, you said it won't be done until October. What would that look like for students and
Shouldn't be
staff?
any impact on the student drop-off delivery. I'll be out there every day myself, dropping off and picking up. So it should go fine. They're gonna they're starting this preliminary work, so when their insulation and cover board hits the job site, they can jump on hard. So they're getting a little bit later start, waiting on that material, but same duration. Probably middle October, so.
I just want to be sure. I was a freshman when they were building the freshman wing at GRC, and it's a very long year. So,
Yes.
yeah, it was very loud. And
Yeah, we'll make sure everything's, nothing's
just to make
impacted as
sure.
far as drop-off, school deliveries, we'll make sure they're in the middle of the days, all that will get there.
Mr. Mouse is aware of that.
Yes.
Okay.
Again, overall, everything's going pretty well. That's kind of the highlights, but if you got any specific questions, I'll do my best.
So the roof work at RDC, like all that, is that done?
It's almost finished. They
Okay.
probably won't be 100% done when school starts, but they'll be back in one corner in the rear. Just
Okay.
isolated that last little piece. The roof's not finished.
I'm sure Mrs. Smith is looking forward to not having any leaks during
I'm sure.
and buckets and garbage cans out, so, yeah.
When are they planning on breaking in ground on the football field?
Probably, I think, 1st of August-ish, they've been on, keep using that field to the end of this month. So
Okay.
they'll be out there probably next week, putting up silk fence and all that. So see some action over there.
Sounds good.
Do we have any other questions, Mr. Dakota?
Sounds good.
Thank you so much for coming and giving us an update.
Thank you.
Okay. I will now, the next agenda item is consider approval of student-based enterprise sales agreement for GRC School Store by Ms. Tara Kitty.
There she is.
Good evening. So with the recent passing of House Bill 555, it allows a school-based enterprise to sell smart snack approved food throughout the duration of the day. Dr. Muncie, Mr. Arms, and myself met to talk about this and what this would look like for the school store at GRC. And in support of the food services and not wanting to compete with our cafeteria, we came upon opening the school store at 12:49, which would be 5 minutes after the completion of the last lunch, in which we would sell smart snack approved food and drink until the end of the school day. And so Dr. Muncie went over with me the protocol and how to make sure everything was approved, so all that's been done. It's printed out and will be in the school store at any time. And so this just takes approval from the superintendent and the board and myself and Dr. Muncie. So that's what we're here asking for today. So there's the list. I did it all digitally and I linked it all so you can go straight to the certification, and I have it all printed out too. So just looking for approval.
Thank you. Does anyone have any questions for Ms. Kitty?
No, looks good.
All right. Do I have a motion to approve?
I make a motion.
Motion by Mr. Kaiser,
I'll second.
second by Mrs. Thomas. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any other discussion? Motion passes 4-0.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you. And I do want to brag on Ms. Big and Dr. Muncie, because she made it sound like it was simple. The chart was very complicated, and she did a really good job, so
I'm sure she did.
thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much. Okay, I'm going to ask Ms. Allison Nelson to come back, and we're going to consider approval of MOU with the Kentucky Center for Grieving Children and Families. This is the first MOU.
Good evening again. Yeah, I have a few different. This is the annual mental health MOU renewal update. So the first one that we have on the agenda is the Kentucky Center for Grieving Children and Families. We're very fortunate that they offer to come into our schools and have grief groups with students throughout the district. This memorandum simply lays out that particular service that they provide. So they do service students who have experienced both death and non-death loss in their life. They have been a massive benefit to our school district. This year they ran groups across the district, and they were really fortunate to get some additional funding that will allow them to continue groups in schools for the 26-27 school year. So yeah, just would like approval of this MOU so we can continue that much needed work.
Do I have a motion to approve the MOU for the Kentucky Center for Grieving Children and Families? Mr. Dorsey,
I'll second.
second by Ms. Thomas. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any other discussion? Motion passes 4-0. The next MOU is with Key Assets.
Yes, so I actually received some information yesterday that Key Assets is no longer a functioning agency. So this particular memorandum for the upcoming school year does not necessarily apply. I'm having conversations with other agencies that may fill the gap for Key Assets.
So should we not approve the MOU since they don't exist?
That's correct. We'll move on to the next agenda.
Yeah.
I make a motion to not approve the MOU with Key Assets.
I'll second that.
Second by Mr. Kaiser. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any other discussion?
Yep.
No? Okay, motion passes 4-0. Okay.
The next agency on the agenda is Mountain Comprehensive Care Center. I would like to request approval to continue our MOU with them. They provide direct behavioral and mental health services to students across the district. I received some numbers from them. They serviced somewhere between 250 to 300 students across our district last school year. So,
Do you still have a person in the school, each school?
for Mountain Com,
Uh-huh.
yes, they have staff assigned. Now, they do have some staff that may split between schools. It depends on what their particular staffing looks like. But but they do service a broad range of students with some lower level needs for us, so.
Do I have a motion to approve the MOU with Mountain Comprehensive Care?
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Ms. Thomas. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Mr. Dorsey. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Motion passes 4-0 unless there's other conversation. Okay. Our next MOU is with New Vista.
New Vista. So we've also had an MOU with New Vista for several years. They offer a variety of services for our district, which include individual student services, but they also run some specialized groups in our district. At the high school this year, very pleased to start running some groups that target students with some specific needs there. I would like to request approval for continuation of this memorandum of understanding too.
I'll make a motion to approve MOU with New Vista.
Motion by Mr.
I'll second.
Okay. I will need to abstain from this. This is my primary full-time employer. So I'm going to abstain from voting. So we have a motion by Mr. Kaiser, second by Mr. Dorsey. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes 3-0 with Ms. Hall abstaining. All right. Our next MOU is with National Youth Advocate Program.
Yes, National Youth Advocate Program. They are local to Winchester. They also provide a variety of services, which do include direct services for students, and they specialize in students in foster care.
And I will also need to abstain from this vote because this is I'm a contingent employee with National Youth Advocate Program at this point in time. So, do I have a motion?
I'll make that motion to
Okay.
accept.
Motion, Mrs. Thomas. Have a second?
I'll second.
By Mr. Dorsey. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes 3-0 with Dr. Hall abstaining. Okay. That's all my employers on here. Sorry, just trying to break up the monotony a little bit. Our next MOU is with Resolutions Therapy Practice.
Yes, Resolutions Therapy Practice, they do have providers that come into the schools and provide direct services to students. They also offer targeted case management for our students' families.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's good to know. Okay. Do I have a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion.
Mr. Kaiser, do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second, Mr. Dorsey. All those in favor say aye.
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 Any other discussion? Motion passes 4-0. And our last MOU is with Specialized Alternatives for Family and Youth of Kentucky.
Yes, otherwise known as SAFI.
Oh.
Yes, I know, whenever I was like, I just
What
called it
is-
SAFI.
Yeah.
So they offer services for students who are in foster care. So they have staff that come into our buildings and work directly with students who are in foster care within their agency contract.
Do I have a motion to approve this MOU? Motion on Mr. Dorsey. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second, Ms. Thomas. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any other discussion? Motion passes 4-0. Thank you so much.
Thank you guys very much. Appreciate you all. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next agenda item is acknowledgement and consider approval of changes to procedure form 09.435, AP 22, disciplinary hearing form, Mrs. Jamie Ward.
So Ms. Ward could not be here today, so I'll kind of present these. Mr. King may help me out. So the next several are really focused around the small changes to either mostly procedures. If you click on there, you can see the changes in red. On this first one, we're just pretty much deleting the whole thing. So we've come up with a process outside. We put a team together from the high school principal, the junior high principal, to our Phoenix principal, and really work through with myself and the DPPs and Ms. Bell, a more streamlined process. So.
Okay. All right. I'll make a motion to approve the changes to procedure form 09.435. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Mr. Dorsey. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any other discussion? Motion passes 4-0. Next agenda item, acknowledgement and consider approval of changes to CCPS procedure form 09.434 AP.2, notice of suspension.
So as we went through that process, we realized that we had several different forms that were floating around that different principals were using. So we came together and kind of redid this form. We took out some of the information, as you can see on top, but mainly we just want this form. There is also a statement that says there's an electronic version that we created so they can use it instead, because some folks had an electronic version, some not, and it wasn't really documented. So this is our process to provide due process to our families, which is by the law, so we want to make sure we tighten this up while we were investigating kind of the whole discipline, expulsion slash procedure, and there you go.
Right. Do I have a motion to approve the changes to this?
I'll make that
Motion, Mr. Kaiser, second. I'll second. All those in favor for the changes for this procedure, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any other discussion? Motion passes 4-0.
So this next agenda item is actually the first read because it's a policy change, very minimal change, but we'll have to bring this one back. We essentially just, this is for our non-resident students for them to apply. We simply added to the fourth sentence down, the policy shall not discriminate between non-resident pupils, but may recognize enrollment capacity in student records as determined by the district. So just giving us some more information to look at on that.
Okay. All right. Do I have a motion to approve the first read for changes to CCPS policy 09.1222, non-resident student?
I'll make that motion. I'll second it.
Okay, motion by Mr. Dorsey and second by Ms. Thomas. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any other discussion? Motion passes 4-0. Okay, the next one. Is that the same one?
So this one, that was the policy, this is the procedure.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
So this one will just take one read, but while we had them up here, we just made a couple just changes regarding anticipating we may have a new office instead of listing the address, listing Clark County Public Schools. And then near the bottom, we adjusted our calculation rate in defining capacity. So that's 10A. We did use 15%, and it was a recommendation to move it to 20%. That's pretty much it.
Okay. Okay. Do I have a motion to approve the changes to procedure form 09.12 AP 22 non-resident students?
I'll make that motion.
Mr. Kaiser, a second. I'll second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any other discussion? Motion passes 4-0. Okay, changes to procedure homeschool notification.
So on this, again, this is another procedure document, so a lot of this too has come with us intentionally utilizing Ms. Ward on the IC side with enrollment. So we're trying to make just some small adjustments in language, which you'll see in red, the homeschool name, make it a little more prominent at grade level. So just, again, an effort to tighten just some details up while we're working on the process.
Okay. All right. So do I have a motion to approve changes to procedure form 9111 AP 21 homeschool notification? Mr. Dorsey, have a second?
I'll second.
Mr. Kaiser, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any other discussion? Motion passes 4-0. The last one is changes to procedure form 09.11 AP 22, change in school assignment.
So we really wanted to address a couple things regarding who's making the final decision. And so in red, you'll see the change in school assignments are approved or denied specifically by the school of choice principal. Again, the final decision will be in the duration of 1 year. And a lot of that, we added capacity because a lot of times, because we reduced class sizes to 20 to 1, we fill up faster at the elementary schools and wanted to make sure the principals had some say in that.
I'll make a motion to approve changes to procedure form 9.11 AP.22, change in school assignment. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Saying Mr. Kaiser. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any other discussion? Motion passes 4-0.
Anything else, Mr. Howard?
Thank you, Ms. King.
Do you need a restroom? Okay. We need to take just we're gonna adjourn for a quick break, and we will come, it is 7:21, we'll be back by no later than 7:30. So we'll come back at 7:30. I think it should be. Thank you.
looking at preliminary final numbers for the year, revenue collections are at 106 against our budgeted numbers, and expenses are at 104. And if you will look at where we talked about the deficit between those numbers on our budget, where we said we had encumbrance rollovers and school carry forward numbers, they were at $4,277,000. You can see we have come in at a deficit of $4,223,000, so we're right at that exact number. So that's beginning balance, essentially. So that this number's right here, total receipts and total expenditures, is just what we brought in for the year and what we spent out for the year. So we spent out monies and expenditures beginning balance. That's not in that total receipt number, okay? So when we're looking at those budgeted numbers and it says we were gonna be a deficit, it's because some of what we have expenditure-wise budgeted is in that beginning balance, but we don't have that number included in our receipts. Does that make sense what I'm saying? Okay, so we projected that that's what was gonna happen in our budget, and then we have a reason why, okay? So our reason why was we had encumbrance rollovers, we had school carry forward, we had set aside numbers, well, we spent all that. We had planned to spend all that. It was in the budget to spend that, and we did exactly that. So we actually came out, it was literally $4,277,099, and then we're $4,223,873 of that encumbrance and school carryover. So the schools didn't really spend necessarily all of what they carried into the year per se, or the encumbrance of what we carried into the year maybe didn't pay out for all of that, if that makes sense, okay? So here we're gonna do the same budgeting cycle again next year when we talk. When you see July numbers, we'll see a similar situation where we have receipts, budgets, and I'll lay out for you what we're gonna carry forward and encumbrances, what the schools have carried forward for the year, and so on. Does that make sense, everybody? Okay. So preliminary numbers, I will show you what beginning balance and all that looks like next month, what we kind of fell out for the year. This is just kind of how we ended for the year.
I have a question from one of my constituents about our contingency and why it's over 5%. And I know that you're, okay,
Okay.
I have not, I would need to answer them, but I know how conservative you budget. So can you explain our contingency at 6.3 right there? Why that is actually a good thing that our contingency is at 6.3%. Which is probably, I know you would like it to be more.
I would like it to be more than 6%, actually. So state legislation actually requires 2%, and legislation actually required that it's going up to 4%.
Okay.
So we're going from 2 to 4. Legislation has changed, so the new one is 4. Actually, if you look at OEA studies, which is Office of Educational Accountability, they actually say it's better to be around a 10% because you want to be closer to what 3 months worth of expenditures are. And that's more like 10% for us, in all honesty. And so 6% is actually low for what 3 months of expenditures for us is. So if we had absolutely no revenue coming in, we could not cover 3 months worth of expenditures at 6%. 6% is like the minimum that we really want. That will cover us maybe 2 months worth of expenditures. So 6% is very conservative. Very minimal in my opinion.
So, and I'll expand on that. When she's talking expenditures, she's not just talking buying buses
No.
and even paying the electric bill.
Operations.
We're talking about paying people's salaries. Right?
Paying the bills to keep the lights on, the operational bills.
And we would never want to get in the situation where we'd have to take out a loan to pay people's salaries, right? And so that's why we try to have more so that in case something happened like a pandemic where no one's paying taxes, not bringing revenues in, we can still pay people's salaries. And that would come out of our contingency funds.
And I'm sorry to put you on the spot, but I also want, as transparent as we can be, to know that these are conversations that we have all the time. And I've been on here long enough to know how you budget, or how we budget together. And I appreciate your answer, and I will pass it on to my constituents, so. And our budget is, it's so complicated, it's not just one little piece of it, it's very large, very large, so, but thank you for explaining
Yeah.
that. And Mr. Howard too, for your comments.
Absolutely. So that is kind of, like I said, this is unaudited, preliminary, how we've ended the year. And then the tax side, we've done well on the tax side. Those franchise property taxes, we've talked about those. That's on the business taxes. Those are kind of you never know when those are going to be collected. Some of what we have actually collected this year was 2 years prior collection year, so that was kind of a mystery in all honesty, but in the overall scheme, we collected above our budget on the other two, property and motor to cover not hitting that. So, and again, very conservative in budgeting those so that we do collect over, so that you see on the overall total receipts, we collected 106% budget. So that's intentional for the sense of we want to make sure we collect every single penny so we don't over budget on the expenditure side and spend more than we bring in revenues. We never want to get in the situation where we budget revenues that we're not going to collect. So there is certain times that a line item might not get collected, but the overall budget for the entire annual year, we want to make sure we collect. Okay. Any questions?
So we just need to authorize payments of salaries and accounts payable. I will make that motion.
I'll second the motion.
Second by Mrs. Thomas. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any other discussion? Motion passes 4-0. And thank Ms. Ellis and your team for all you do. If you didn't have you guys, I don't know.
I couldn't do it without my team.
It's really cool that you recognize them tonight. It's really good to see those faces. So, Dr. Parrish is here we're going to consider approval of emergency certification application to EPSB /KECS.
Yes, so the Professional Standards Board asked for permission from each Board of Education that should we decide to emergency certify teachers, we have a board approval number. So this is just our annual request for our board approval number for EPSB.
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Mr. Kaiser,
I'll second.
second by Mr. Dorsey. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any other discussion? Motion passes 4-0.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Parrish. Are you next?
Yes, ma'am.
Consider approval of annual KSBA recommended staff handbook.
Yes, so this is just our annual update for our staff handbook. So all of the new General Assembly regulations and laws that came out, we've added it, and this is the final revision from KSBA.
Okay. Did anyone have any questions, comments about the staff handbook? One thing on the other handbooks, kind of the board, just to make sure all of that we're on there correctly. I don't know if that, I haven't even looked at this, I don't,
Okay,
for
I
that
will
piece of
review it.
just to make sure that it's in line. Yeah, it probably is, but.
I do remember that, so I will
Yeah,
review it just to
yeah.
make sure.
I glanced through this, I didn't really read, it's quite lengthy, so. Anyone have any questions, comments, or motion to approve it?
Make a motion to approve it.
Motion by Mr. Kaiser. I'll second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any other discussion? Motion passes 4-0.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Parrish. Our next agenda item is consider approval of Hannah McClure Cardinals Community Center facility rental fee schedule form. Mrs. Bush and Mrs. Ellis.
Hello again.
Hello.
This, in consultation, the traditional school rental usage form that we currently use for all other buildings is a little different than what we will need for our center. And we've given it a little bit of time, and we're getting really busy, so we need to finalize that information so it can be streamlined. So that is why you see that the language is a little different. We're not changing anything for the other schools. This is just an add-on for what's definitely different for this building in particular.
Which seems to be rocking every time I'm anywhere near it. So And the bees are fantastic. So my group loved the bees. We stared at them for a minute. So they were really cool what they're doing there.
We'll
So.
come back when Mr. Collins can give the students a lesson.
I'd love that, yeah.
May I ask, what is the McClure Suite?
The McClure Suite is the old library. It's the largest building that's up through the vestibule.
And the additional cost for the $25 for opening and closing the building, that's if they did it at night and there's no staff there, or?
Well, if Mr. Spry, who is the custodian, or myself could not be there at that particular time, then we would have to have somebody else in order to keep it going, to open and close.
That would be the extra that
Like
you
you got a
would charge.
custodian or somebody from maintenance or something
Right,
like
so
that.
typically that's gonna be after hours, yes, ma'am.
Our building's a little different also because the other buildings are usually for a long period of time, like a day, like an event of some type that GRC for a volleyball tournament or baseball or something like that. This is usually for hours, increments of smaller time frames.
It's good to me.
All right. Do I have a motion to approve the facility rental fee schedule form?
I'll make that motion.
Mr. Kaiser? I'll second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any other discussion or questions? Motion passes 4-0. Thank you. Thank you for all your work there. Okay. We are moving on to internal board business, and I'm going to ask Mr. Kaiser to give us an update on the KSBA Summer Institute.
Well, I attended Saturday of I was there Thursday and signed in, and then there's Saturday. It was a good updates, going over some of the legislation and stuff. I took a class, it's a guy's name I told you the other day, Harrison County, lives here in the district.
Oh, man.
Andy Dodson?
Yes,
Mr.
thank
Johnson.
you.
I really like to hear
Harrison County
him,
Superintendent.
he does a good job on presenting. But also, I want to give you all an update is, about a year ago, I was nominated to the local school board members advisory council, and they meet, 3 times a year. They meet the Thursday before, our training, the one in the spring, then they met the Thursday before the training and on Saturday. So I was nominated to that last year, so I accepted that nomination, started on the committee. Later on in the year, I got asked to be the vice chair. Well, this year, at our meeting in the summer, I was asked to chair for the following year. But I just want to give you all kudos on our schools. So in the presentation they presented, back earlier in the year, we told these people what we want to talk about, things that we as a group come together to talk about. One of them was teacher retention. And so we were highlighted, Clark County schools were highlighted on teacher retention to all these other counties, Webster County, all over the state, all these different people at it. And it was about our, the biggest thing that they really were so impressed with was our daycare. The daycare was such a big deal, and like, when you started talking about it, I mean, it's like all the people in there with just their mouths dropped, like, how do y'all do that, you know? And so just a big shout out to the things that we're doing and things that we're making a difference on growing greatness. So that's a little bit update. I'll know a bit more as I get into this leadership role with this council, but it's pretty good. Mr. Fletcher was there. He's always at these meetings if he can, and he gives us some insights on legislation that was passed and things like that. And then sometimes there's legislators that come in and speak to us some too. So I'll let you know when I know.
And that's with the Department of Education.
Yes.
And then you also attended the KSBA.
Yes,
So
yes,
You
the
have a
KSBA.
meeting at the KSBA.
Yes.
Yeah. And you were the only board member to attend the summer intensive.
I needed some time, and I went and got my time.
Yes, yes. So we're all seeking out a very small amount of time, so. But thank you for that update, and I think I'm incredibly proud that you serve on that advisory council and now as the chair. It will just give our district just ongoing information and the leadership. Really appreciate that. So, okay. Our next agenda item is, and so the two there, Mr. Kaiser talked about both of those. The next one is acknowledgement of Dustin Howard, Superintendent, 25-26 evaluation. And I'm just going to read this statement that we did. It's a lot of work that went into it. The Clark County Board of Education has completed the evaluation of Superintendent Howard for the 25-26 school year, deeming it overwhelmingly positive for education in our school district. The evaluation focused on 7 standards of performance and goals for the district as set forth in board policy. Superintendent Howard received a perfect rating of exemplary 4 out of 4 on all 7 standards in the areas of strategic leadership, instructional leadership, cultural leadership, human resources leadership, managerial leadership, collaborative leadership, and influential leadership. Superintendent Howard continues to implement the portrait of a learner, not only in the schools, but he ties in the portrait together within community, together without community.
Should be together
With community to grow greatness in our schools, city, and county. Superintendent Howard consistently exceeds the standard of strategic leadership with his consistent communication with staff and board, creating a shared district culture and setting goals while involving support staff and stakeholders. The board will work with Superintendent Howard over the coming weeks to develop goals for our district for the 26-27 school year, and the board looks forward to working with Superintendent Howard for continuing success and growth for the Clark County Public School District. And for the upcoming 26-27 school year, the board looks forward to working with Superintendent Howard to continue growth in the area of human resources leadership. So that was our statement. So we thank Mr. Howard for his hard work and dedication for the students of Clark County. So that's what he's here for. And it is, was it Seek the Light, or what was your, Be the Light?
Be the Light.
Be the Light was your speech last year. It stayed with me the whole year. So, yeah. Okay. Well, I'll move on and let Mr. Howard talk about your professional growth plan and your goals.
Sure. So the next couple, one, I really like, before we get into the school year, kind of defining where we're at as far as our evaluation of myself, but also the board, and then aligning that to my professional growth goals. So the 2 professional growth goals that I've selected exactly align with our conversation. So we'll continue to push with instructional leadership because we've made great progress, but we're not there yet. We continue to refine. A big part of that, which we're winning on, is retaining our world-class staff, because no matter what initiatives we push, if we don't retain our teaching staff, our support staff, we're losing. We're losing financially because of retraining, and we're losing on consistency. So I've been really pleased with that progress. The second goal really kind of wraps around the portrait of a learner, but also the culture and climate in the district. Part of retaining the best staff is to make sure they want to continue to be here. And our challenge this year is going to be to our staff living the portrait of a Clark County learner, because it's absolutely my opinion that we can't hold kids to a standard of being empowered leaders all the way to being committed collaborators if our staff don't do the same thing. They have to also be the light for our kids and our community. And we'll continue to push heavily on those 2 initiatives moving forward. There's some more details in there, but that's the balcony view.
So our agenda item that we need to approve is the 26-27 professional growth plan and goals for Superintendent Howard. Do I have a motion to approve those?
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Ms. Thomas,
I'll say.
second by Mr. Kaiser. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any other discussion? That motion passes 4-0. Did you talk about the board goals?
Nope, we'll do that
Okay.
right this minute. So you got it pulled up.
Yeah.
And the reason I strategically we put it in this order is we have done a really good job, and you guys have done a good job in aligning how we hold each other accountable. From the 7 standards that I'm evaluated on, to then tying that to 5 professional growth. And then if you look at the board goals, it is absolutely the same 7 standards, because we're in this together. And I'm happy to be doing the work of growing greatness in Clark County with the board. Specifically, if you look at section 1, all those are around strategic planning, vision, and instructional strategies. Most of those are, again, about the portrait of the learner, about our vision, mission, things that we kind of rebranded over the last few years. And when you get into instructional integrity, visibility, celebrate greatness, those are all things we do. Standard 2 is academics. We've really built these to be over multiple years because we want to set long-term goals of growing greatness, not jumping at year-to-year progress, right? When you're doing the right work, growth will happen over time. So you can see most of those academic goals are set by 2029. Again, this next year we'll start reviewing data from 2025, 2026. You can see each of those are broken down by reading and math proficiency, social studies, science, writing proficiency. I need to adjust the writing part because writing is no longer on the accountability piece after this year, but it is now, so I left it on there. You can see English language learners, quality of safety, that also will be transitioning off, so we'll do some adjustments on that for next year as we move into the truancy and attendance piece that we'll be filling in for that part. So again, you'll see some of these change for next year, just kind of bringing up some highlights for you. Culture, climate, that's going to be a big focus for the board. As you can see, we looked at this as kind of an admin team. Dr. Parrish and her crew really put some time and effort into re-engaging in the work. As you can see, focus areas, employee engagement, belonging, professional learning communities, leadership development, which we partnered. You see Mr. Mike McCormick here. We're now expanding that throughout the district with not only principals and students, but our district leadership and teams. Again, some other things I won't read word for word. Human resources, and that goes hand in hand a lot of times with culture, climate, but that's standard 4. So you can see again, we're really aligning the superintendent standards to what the board is going to help me grow. Right? Recruitment and retention, like I've talked about all day, every day, we're only as good as our people. And they've got to feel supported, and they've got to feel like they're part of the bigger vision of why we're doing this. And it's the why's our North Star and our kids. Removing barriers, as you can see, looking at data, we do give our staff an opportunity to give feedback each and every year, multiple times, where we can evaluate how we're doing with that. We'll continue to do that and make adjustments as needed. Managerial, this is a combination of not just facilities and finances, kind of both together. So you can see those 2 portions are broken down. So we've got some updates. You've got some updates fiscally on where we're at with construction projects. Every month we go over where we're at with continuing fiscal responsibility, being mindful of our taxpayer dollars, but not at the cost of services for our kids. And I will die on that cross. I don't need to belabor that point anymore. So that's really the crux of the board goals and how they've been organized for this next year.
Do anyone have any questions, comments, or a motion to approve the board goals 26, 27?
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Mr. Kaiser,
I'll second.
second by Mr. Dorsey. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any other discussion? Okay, our board goals are approved at 4-0. And now, Mr. Howard, Superintendent's report.
I'm on a roll. Lots to celebrate. We got celebrations everywhere in the middle of the summer. One of our bigger projects we're super pumped about is we are in the process, and lots of shout out needs to go out to Mr. Kaysen and his team. We are installing almost 280 new cameras in the high school. It's a massive project. Again, Chief Hall's been a big part of the team that kind of selected which cameras we were going with from different vendors. The good news is a lot of the funding is from grants and also the ATC, some funding through Safe Schools as well. But this is going to give us a better opportunity to provide safety and security for not only our students but our staff. The former system was getting ancient, it wasn't very user-friendly, there were blind spots. So we walked the building, again, with good partners in the community to identify where we need to upgrade, not just the camera system, but putting new cameras and cameras that have never been in certain spots before. So I feel confident, as a daddy of my little angel that walked in here earlier, you know, kids will be safer than they were last year because of the system. There's several different components to make it user-friendly for administrators when we're trying to find things, trying to find folks that they can easily search now and manipulate the building. And again, as a former principal, I used that old system, and it was very difficult. In a situation, instead of investigating it, taking 4 minutes, it took 20 minutes to get the right camera angles. So again, so something's been on our radar. Again, a huge shout out to our maintenance, our student maintenance crew, our students we've hired over the summer. They've actually been at the high school installing the cameras, which is a great experience for them. And then, like I said, the Mr. Casey's crew, I think they've lived out there the past couple of weeks. Also outside, more athletic coverage, and I've listed a whole different list, or a whole long list of different advantages for cameras. So other things, I gave you guys some flyers to look at this week. We've got some, the Cardinal Connections Academy is going on. So a lot of our staff, so there's some scheduling, so you guys just to be apprised of what dates, what's going on, how it's organized. It is extremely intentional, wrapped around kind of our 5 pillars of instruction, but our staff do get some flexibility in choosing that. The next big item is back to school nights. Those go from August the 3rd all the way to preschool on the 11th. With times and dates, we'd love to have as many of you guys that want to come out and walk around. Our staff and kids and parents love seeing you guys, so you can put some of those dates and times in your schedules. The Connect event is a huge event. We'll have all 1,300 of our staff. We will celebrate, and they will be dancing. Not so much by me, hopefully, but we will have a big time. We'll also have community vendors that will give out free things to our staff. We'll eat together, have a big breakfast. So I hope that you guys can join us for that event. Also, to kick off the school year the right way, with really showing some appreciation for the folks that make the magic happen. We already did construction updates. One thing I do want to go back and highlight before I get to our iLabs. Summer feeding, I'm going to give you from June to July. So we've been all over the place. We do have one more, I think this Thursday, but up to this point, and I'm going to, this is a staggering number, so be ready, Shannon, it's coming, all right? Summer feeding numbers. We've served over 130,000 meals to children 18 and under in Clark County. 130,000 meals. We've also provided meals at camps, Stroker, Baker, BCTC, Preschool, College Park, GRC, Community Center, for about over 7,000 more meals. Flight Academy, almost 6,000 meals. Again, it's just wonderful work that our school system is coming together to provide to our community. Thus leaning into connecting the school and the community as one to grow greatness in all of our students. So very proud of that effort. In retention rates, I've talked about that, are pretty high. There is, and I put a link in here on the successful summer with the Flight Academy. 201 students earning their wings, meeting their growth goals with literacy over the summer. And they had a big time fun with that, celebrate that. The only other thing I've got, we'll be rolling out one of our new initiatives with the Paxton Patterson Career Labs, Career Technical Education, will now be expanded all the way down to 5th grade. So we'll have labs at Baker, we'll have 2, hopefully 3 eventually at RDC, and then we've got a new construction high school lab at our Innovation Center for our speedings and virtual students. As you can see, they're very well branded. We'll have a ribbon cutting. We'll get that date to you guys, I think it's September the 8th. The company wants to highlight and showcase what we're doing here in Clark County with career and technical education. Want to use us as a training site for the country to bring folks in to see how we've invested in kids not only being college ready, but being exposed to pathways like phlebotomy and culinary and plumbing, HVAC, electrical to run circuits, and all of those pathways in our labs are aligned to our high school pathways. We, again, it is really groundbreaking and balancing now and making sure our kids are prepared to be life ready. Even if they don't get a certification, they'll know how a sink trap works and will be able to fix things at their house. So again, super pumped about that. Another way that we're using our resources to go directly to kids. Any questions?
Can we come out there and do that?
Absolutely. I think some of my staff want to train some of the significant others in the labs on certain things. I won't use names on that. So.
But that is exciting. I can't wait to see them because we like them when we look at them before. So thank you for that report. Our next agenda item is our consent agenda items. Do I have a motion to approve our consent agenda items?
I'd make that motion.
Motion on Ms. Thomas,
I'll second.
second on Mr. Kaiser. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any other discussion? Motion passes 4-0. And now, our next agenda item is we are going to adjourn to closed session. This is adjournment to executive session per KRS 61.810 AF. Discussions or hearings which might lead to the appointment, discipline, or dismissal of an individual, employee, member, or student. We are adjourned to closed session at 8 p.m.
Awesome.
Second, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Motion passes 4-0, and it is 8:01.